Hi, folks. As we prep for Hamlet, I wanted to introduce you to, again, the archetype of the hero. I mentioned in our background information that Hamlet defined a new hero, the thinking man. And so I wanted to take a moment to review a pretty significant archetype in the form of the hero and the notion of the hero's journey. It is not just relative to old literature. It is actually something that we see quite a lot in current texts as well as in movies and TV shows. So I wanted to take a little bit of time to have you review it prior to beginning Hamlet. So an archetype is a recognizable character or plot or a theme or idea that is a part of our collective unconscious. So, for instance, it spans cultures and generations. I don't need to explain to just about anybody in the world what a hero is. If I use the term, oh, that person is a hero, we have this already preconceived idea of who that person is in our heads. Same thing with a villain. If I tell you that this is a bad guy or a villain, we already have, regardless of our age, gender, or culture, an idea of what that means. And so some of the common archetypes that we probably all recognize are the notion, or the hero, the villain, the mother figure, the father figure, the evil stepmother. Again, Disney itself uses a lot of these archetypes over and over and repeatedly. And what you'll see on the next slide are the steps of a hero's journey. If you take a look at a definitive hero, whether it's Superman or Harry Potter or Luke Skywalker, they all follow a certain path in the course of their books or their movies. And so the next two slides have what are defined as the steps of a hero as they move through their journey in evolving into a hero. And so you'll see the first half of the steps on this slide. You'll see the second half on the second slide. And I have included a hyperlink to a document that gives you a brief definition of each of these. And I am going to ask that you refer to that prior to the assignment. So some common examples of a hero or the hero archetype. For those of you who are Star Wars fans, Luke Skywalker, great example of a hero's journey if you span the original Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. If you are a Matrix fan, Neo is also a really solid example in a more modern context. If you like Harry Potter, and you span the course of his movies, he absolutely fits, as does Jack Dawson from Titanic, although I think I like that example less clearly than I like the others. Frodo, if you are a Lord of the Rings fan, is also arguably a modern presentation of a hero. So again, for the hero archetype, there is kind of the counterpoint to that. That is the anti-hero. An anti-hero is a main character who still follows the steps of the hero's journey, but is not presented as a classic hero, someone who does not fit the mold, someone who is perhaps morally ambiguous, and maybe perhaps a bit unlikable. And we'll flesh this out a little bit more because Hamlet is kind of our thinking man's hero. He is our hero archetype, but I would argue that he's perhaps more of an anti-hero. For the journey that he faces, there's a lot that we actually don't like about Hamlet, and I think that that leads itself into an interesting discussion. So your task, folks, is to take a look at the hyperlinked doc in the slideshow. It has a really short definition of each of the steps of the hero's journey, and I think it's actually a really accessible one. And with a partner, choose a literary figure or a movie character and chart their hero's journey. I'm looking for you to do it on a Jamboard or a slide. because I spend so much time in front of this computer anyway, that I might as well just stay in front of it, and we will have a chance to share a couple of these as well. If you take a look at the slideshow, you'll see that it is due today. Honestly, if you have it ready by the time you come into class tomorrow, we're good. But use your time wisely and well and divvy up the work. Really, this should take you the course of what would be going on in a class period or less. So if you have any questions, holler, but I did want to give you the directions on a screencast just in case that made life a little bit easier for you. I look forward to seeing what you do, and as always, I look forward to learning. I look forward to learning with regard to the pop culture pieces. So thank you.